Am I still the asshole?
Yes.
Damn. Man, are you serious? Welcome back, guys, to Cases and Cocktails. This is episode number 39. Interestingly enough, my beautiful wife is still here. There you go.
Didn't sound super excited. Maybe not for episode 40.
Maybe not. We never know. We don't know. Tune in and find out. Is that suspenseful?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Like a cliffhanger?
Oh, that's good.
Oh, there you go. More importantly, though, Jillian French still with us.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Hi.
Look at her.
Hi, guys.
Glad to be back, or glad to have you back, excuse me.
Thank you.
And we're going to do something a little bit different today.
Okay.
We're going to introduce the drink because I can't forget that. But more importantly, we're going to do story time today.
Story time.
Story time, fantastic. I love telling stories. I'm not the one in charge of telling the story today. Nice.
It's shocking.
I know. That's what I said. Shocking, right? Yeah. Let's do the drink first, and then we'll get to story time. You good?
Yes.
Okay. What is it?
It's a Maple Bourbon Smash. So
Maple? Like maple syrup? Did we just put maple syrup in bourbon?
it's High West whiskey, mint, maple syrup, and topo.
Mint maple syrup.
Mint.
Cheers.
Yep. You didn't need cheers.
I don't even care. I'm more. I feel like I need a side of bacon. Can I do that?
That's not bad. I know you're not a super fan of bourbon.
That's okay.
All right. Well, we can do that.
I like the lemon.
I can taste the maple kind of on the back end a little bit.
Nah, I just want
Is
bacon.
that Canadian maple syrup? Is that bootleg?
Is there another kind?
Was there a tariff?
Is there another kind?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Do we
think
have
you can get maple syrup out of Vermont, maybe. I don't know.
USA.
US.
I mean, we didn't really source it. We just, somebody put it in the glass and we're drinking it. That's what the deal is.
Do you want me to go get Fernanda?
Nah. I do
She
want
would be
bacon.
so
though.
angry.
I know. I do want bacon though. Okay. All right. So we're gonna play a game. We're gonna read something from Reddit, I think. Right?
Yep.
We'll play Am I the Asshole?
Yep.
All right.
No, that was the answer.
Oh, that's the answer. That's the answer. I am the asshole. That's fair.
I was going to say, this is going to be a
Nailed
fun
it.
game where I'm not like asking myself that question and it's someone else. And I'm like, fantastic. Let me tell you.
Okay. I pushed a button.
Oh no.
Fix it.
No. All right. There we go.
Okay. So I'll read it and then we'll chat about it. Okay. So the person talking is a 34-year-old female. I just learned what that all means on there. And her husband is a 33-year-old male. My husband of 8 years has had a drinking problem that has worsened since our son was born just over a year ago. We went to couples counseling where he agreed he would stop drinking, prompted by my request when he left me and my 4-month-old son to go on a bender for 2 weeks. That's a long bender.
I was going to say, I was going to stop you right there. I feel like the answer is he has an issue with alcohol.
Yeah.
And
Maybe.
so unless she's like fueling him with booze on purpose.
I feel like I can already answer this
right,
question.
right. I'm just context cluing it, but go ahead.
He left abruptly, unplanned, and drunk drove through the mountains for 13 hours to visit his brother. He ran out of gas and had to be picked up by said brother 10 hours into his drive. While he was away, he said he was drinking a fifth a day. Upon returning from his bender, he didn't drink for 3 months, but started abusing a new Adderall prescription. Can you drink that much, come home, and then go
That's
cold
why
turkey?
not.
Won't you die?
I don't.
No.
I'm not. I don't. First of all, a fifth of booze a day seems like a lot.
It seems
I guess
like
if
a
you
whole lot.
spread it out, I'm trying to like. I'm just
It's
like,
still just 24 hours,
well,
baby.
no, but you know, it's like
There are 24 hours in a day. I don't know if you do that.
But you know, the thing is, it's like, sometimes you'd be like, hey, I drank a 6-pack.
Yeah.
Well, I drank a 6-pack over the course of 6 hours, right? So it's like a beer an hour, right? Okay.
Right.
Okay. Not a great idea. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying like, it's okay. It's manageable.
Not a terrible idea.
Right. It's different than saying, hey, I knocked out a 6-pack and I did it in 10 minutes.
Right.
Right. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
12 minutes or something like that. You know?
Right.
So, But my point is, I think consuming that much alcohol, level of consistency,
It's dangerous.
One is dangerous, but two, I'm like, I don't know that you can just like
Cold turkey.
Stop.
Because
Cold
it's like
turkey.
one of the things when you go through withdrawals, like
Right.
you can actually die from
Well,
it.
and she said that when he got back, that he was then abusing an Adderall prescription. So who knows? Maybe that helps. I don't know. Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
here we go.
We have to get to her question.
2 days after Christmas, which was 3 months after the bender, our son got RSV and had to go to the emergency room and then stay in the PICU for a week. My husband showed up to PICU drunk to the point where the nurses noticed something was off. During this time, he demanded a divorce, said he was going to take our son half the time and move out of the house. He also said I made him want to kill himself. He screamed at me in his car, punched the steering wheel. This happened several times during my son's stay in the PICU. Once my son got out of PICU, I was scared and filed for divorce and a motion to suspend custody. Before filing, I asked my husband multiple times if he would consider going to rehab, but every time he said no. After filing for divorce, we were required to go to court where they granted the motion to suspend custody. Since then, he's gotten a DUI and still refuses treatment. Lately, he started saying I'm a monster for destroying our family and that I shouldn't have filed for divorce while he was in an alternate state of mind. He said he didn't actually want to get divorced and didn't remember anything from being blacked out at the PICU. I know that he has a problem, but I wonder if I should have waited to file for divorce since he was on another bender when I filed. Am I the asshole?
should
No.
I have waited to file for divorce while he was?
Not until, first of all, you can't even schedule that. Like, you don't know when he's going to go on another one.
Is it on like the
putting
home calendar?
It's not on
I
the shared
think-
family calendar.
Yeah, it's a shared family calendar. He blocks out 2 weeks, bender, fifth a day. It's fine.
Yeah. But immediately,
He has to schedule his brother to come pick him up halfway
Yeah,
up the fucking mountain,
exactly.
anyways, right?
She seems like a super empathetic person,
Okay.
and she's obviously been in a relationship where she's had to deal with a lot and has probably been blamed for a lot of things that weren't her fault. So
Yep.
she's probably going to need a little bit of therapy to work through some stuff, but I don't think she did anything wrong other than maybe staying with him so long.
right. And honestly, it is what she did was what we call being a protective parent. Like, this person is showing up at the hospital where
Drunk.
your child is
Right.
drunk, is hitting the car
Yeah.
in the parking lot, whatever it is. I mean, he's having these outbursts, clearly can't control himself, clearly
Right.
can't get himself to stop drinking. That's not a safe environment, especially for, the child was 1.
Yeah, 4
1
months.
year old.
Yeah, 4
Yeah.
months or something like that.
Yeah.
In the PQ.
So no, protective parent.
Right.
I mean, that's what you're doing.
Agreed.
I'll say first and foremost this, something we see all the time: substance abuse, drug, alcohol, that sort of addiction. Those are difficult. Those are difficult cases. There's a lot of complexities to them, right? Where someone says, this person's got a drug or alcohol issue, and sometimes it's bad like that, right? Guys clearly got a lot going on. Sometimes it's the person smokes pot once a week. It's like, right? And there's different levels and on that sort of stuff. I always go back to this, and someone told me this a long, long time ago. And when it was said to me, I was much younger and didn't really think about it, but it has something that's stuck in my mind, and it plays out over and over in time, which is if you were crazy before you started drinking or using drugs or going to church or having sex, whatever it is, you're going to be crazy afterwards, right? You know what I mean? Like that's not going to help you.
Right.
There's nothing here that's going to help that. Like that, you need to deal with whatever mental health issues going on there.
Right.
He, in this instance, in my opinion, it's still going on.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else you can do.
And he's blaming her
Right, that's what I'm
for
saying.
doing it
Yeah.
when he's vulnerable versus being like, oh, my son was in the hospital with RSV.
Right.
My child is the human here that needs help
Needs
and
help,
care.
yeah. Right.
But how dare you not continue to care for me? I mean, I'm sure.
Take care of the kid, put up with my crap, and time you protecting the kiddo and the family
Right.
around my drinking.
Yeah. So
Insane.
I mean, a lot of times, it sounds like he's having trouble, probably has some addiction issues. A lot of times there's a mental health basis for that. Like, we're obviously not,
Right.
haven't analyzed this person. We're not mental health
Right.
professionals, but when we see it over and over again, I mean,
And I'll say this: she doesn't have a lot of choices. To go back to your point, Jillian, which is she's got to be a protective parent. This husband wife thing, totally an issue. Totally, that relationship, it's a thing. But at the end of the day, she's got a kid. You're going to take care of the kid, do whatever's necessary. You asked him to go get help. He didn't get help. You went through the divorce process, and he continued to drink out of DUI.
Right.
Like, I don't know about, and I'm not going to, like I said, no legal advice or anything, and not diagnosing, for God's sakes, as Sandra always says. But, if she doesn't take these steps,
right.
in the great state of Texas, and DFPS or CPS gets involved, she's going to be in trouble.
Yep.
Right. If she doesn't take those steps.
Right.
So, you're going to have to do it.
Because she's of sound mind and
right.
still not protecting the child.
Right.
Right.
And it's hard. I couldn't imagine being in a situation, and I don't have to be in that situation. Right. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. As she takes a drink.
As you take a drink.
But no, seriously, I'm not in that situation, so I don't want to judge or anything. But how difficult it's got to be to try to, do what's best for your kiddo at the same time, knowing you're losing that relationship, you're losing that thing, and knowing that human being that you fell in love with or that you spent your life with and you try to build this life with, they're not willing to disengage that behavior in order to try to make things work. And that's difficult. I can only imagine.
Well, and then also probably you have been at this point conditioned over the course of many years that you have to tiptoe around this other person, right. and everything that goes wrong or anything that they do is somehow your fault.
Yeah.
And it's that whole, I do nothing wrong. I'm perfect, even though I'm over here leaving, going on benders, getting a DUI. Right. That is all your fault because you didn't do more for me. And it's at some point you just have to have someone take accountability. And I think this is part of that of until you're willing to acknowledge your issue, our child is just not safe around you.
2-week bender, by the way, no job?
Yeah.
I was thinking it, but maybe I don't know. I don't know. Maybe.
Can I have 2 weeks off?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. No.
Am I still the asshole?
Yes.
Damn. Man, are you serious? That's how it goes. Just real fast, a couple things. Drug, alcohol issues, they're prevalent in this, mental health issues.
Yep.
You always have to be in a space where, at least when we have clients, we have to be in a space where we help them navigate that. There's certain things that have to be done. And it's hard because you want to help the person. A lot of times when we have the client that doesn't have those issues, they want to help. They want to try to fix it because there's still hope at some point there that it can be reconciled or figured out. And
especially when they were together, if they had been together at some point before the addiction issue reared its head, right? Because they remember the other person and they just want that back.
They want that back. And it's hard. And you got to kind of walk them through and understand that. And they're sort of, I see sometimes the clients are in a space of, they want to move forward, but they're kind of begrudgingly moving forward. They don't want to move forward. They don't want to do the things. And what's interesting is that particularly in that situation where it's he gets a DUI, it might be a thing where it's we need to go to court. I know you don't want to. I know you don't want to feel like the aggressor here, but you need to do this because if not, then he's going to do something that's going to negatively impact the child.
Right. And then also letting them have an understanding of, I understand that you're feeling very guilty right now.
Right.
You shouldn't.
Right.
But I understand that, and then kind of introducing them to the power and control wheel of people who, because a lot of people, when they think about domestic violence and abuse, they think about just the physical part. And there's nothing in there that talks about, other than her being present when he was hitting the car. But those dynamics and
Still
that
there.
kind of fear-inducing behavior and the controlling behavior of it, you have to constantly be my support, and I don't have to do anything to be any kind of partner to you. Having them look at the power and control wheel, I've had clients look at that and they just kind of start crying because they're like, oh my God, this is exactly what happens. I finally get to the point of I'm done with this, and then the guilt trip comes, the promises to do better, all this stuff, which can be a normal dynamic, but whenever it's just this cycle, and that's why they call it a wheel.
Things are always best right after they're their worst.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so it has to be long-lasting change. And I think that's what's going to happen here is that she's going to have to see some long-lasting change for, him to be able to see his kid.
I'll say this: it's a common theme and see it a lot. They are always complex. We oftentimes too we have the clients that have the mental health issue or have the addiction issue, and it's difficult because you can't just be like, hey, quit drinking, hey, quit doing this, hey, quit doing that, hey, quit having hallucinations or manifestations of other individuals. And so it's a thing where it's like you have to manage them through that, tell them what's going on, but ultimately too you have to kind of be able to have a strategy based on whatever it is that they did,
right,
or what they continue to do.
You have to advocate for them for who they are,
right? And so if you got someone who just will not stop smoking pot, and just it's a constant, they're every day, and you're like, hey, can you just stop doing it? And they won't. You got to be able to say, okay, hey, you're not going to do that. Have that hard conversation, and you don't have to judge them or anything, but you got to have this hard conversation. Say, hey, look, I get it, but because of that, this is where we're at, and this is what we have to do now.
This is going to impact what we're going to go do.
100%. It's going to remove certain things that we could do, certain strategies. We'll have to come up with new strategies, but we'll have to have different expectations of what those outcomes will be.
Well, and also trying to express it in such a way that, like, hey, the court is likely to ask you.
Right.
Pick.
Right.
Do you want to, and it's not always that easy, right? Because addiction it is a mental health thing. It is something that like they can't control.
Right.
But a lot of the times the court will say, well, pick between your kid or this, whatever this is.
Right.
And a lot of people really struggle, and it's not because they don't love their kid.
Right. It doesn't mean that they don't love it. And I think it's an unfair question, to be honest with you, because
and I think judges that do that don't have an understanding of addiction and mental health issues the way that they should, because it's not a fair thing. Because I think that generally speaking, most people that are dealing with that kind of stuff, if they could stop, they would, but they don't see a way to be able to do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think some people still go through the denial phase of having to deal with it.
Oh, there's the whole process.
It lasts so long. And then as long as they're still getting away with it, as long as the court is like, well, they're doing some things and maybe they shouldn't, but, the majority of the time, another parent is there, another adult is there, or like this kid is like otherwise protected. And then the more that they get away with that kind of thing, they're just going to continue, and then the behavior will escalate.
It is.
I mean, this one's very escalated already.
Right.
But
I was going to say a DUI in the middle of a court case. Not a great thing to do, by the way.
No.
Shouldn't have to say it out loud, but it's sort of a thing.
Stop making exhibits for the other side. That's what
exactly. Yes. Please.
I'll say this though. Regardless though, when you have substance abuse, alcohol, drugs, whatever, it changes the complexity of what we're doing and how we do it.
Right.
And so it's always sort of a thing. Last thing I'll say about it is this, when I do get a client and he or she has been alleged to have a substance abuse issue, I tell them, I said, let's just take it head on. I want to be as head on about it as possible, right? Which is, nope, not a problem at all. Go get some tests that show them your full sobriety, and we're done, right? The other side of it is that, hey, you're not fully sober, or you're not, you're still working through your sobriety. That's fantastic. Let's tell them, let's show them, the steps that you're doing that are committed. Even if you're coming up short, I'd rather you come up short, but show a commitment to it, right? You're trying, right? Failing to have complete sobriety is okay. As long as you're committed to that sobriety and that path towards it, and you're not doing things that are endangering the children, right? So I get that. But I do. I want to be right in the middle. I want to hear all of it. I want to see all of it. I want to get the data. I want to do the stuff, because that helps me dictate sort of where I want to go strategy wise. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And clients are often ashamed or embarrassed to tell you about it. I'm like, look, we've all got stuff.
Right?
Some of us are willing to work on it, and some of us aren't. So. The court's going to see it the same way. Everyone's got stuff. So you having an addiction issue is not going to prevent you from being an active parent. You having an addiction issue and not addressing it is going to keep you from being an active parent.
And that's one of the things too. We're really lucky just here at the firm that we have a lot of resources, right? That we can give individuals, clients outside of the firm to help them go and work on their sobriety, work on their commitment to those things, and start working through the things. And it's important. It's important to identify that. So, and let the client tell us, have the client feel comfortable enough to tell us that, so we can then give them the resources to go do the things, be to help them with their sobriety. So,
If that's what they want.
if that's what they want. That's right. All right. Not the asshole. There you go. A lot of fun stuff. Good. Coming back for story time maybe in the near future.
Yeah.
What do you
Next
think?
week.
Next week.
Do it
maybe?
again.
All right. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Well, excuse me. Thank you for hanging out with us this week. I greatly appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next Friday.